There we go. Okay. Here we are, round 1 of Delta Sea Racing Season 2, Division 3. Welcome aboard, everybody. Just waiting for drivers to head out on track. Should be an interesting season ahead with a few old faces, few new faces. Alpine coming out first. I think that is Lejay coming out first. On the podium last week in the pre-season race. Doing a good job since he's only really a reserve driver, so doing a very good job to keep in the mix. Of course, a few old races. Evil Master makes his return. Or, well, let's say return. Also, first time I've seen him myself racing in a decent amount of time. Of course, there's tyres in the upper ripples. Out on the medium tyres. Let's get that tyre out. Lots of people going out to start up on the medium tyres. That's the wrong one. Foxglove on the mediums. There we go. So, yeah, let's go on board with Lejay then. Maybe not Lejay. There we go. On board. First person to come round and start a lap on those soft tyres. DRS open on the run to turn 4. 28.6 first sector. Through this tight, twisty section of 5, 6 and 7. Onto the S's now. On board through the S's. Bit of a lift, taking maybe quite conservative. Oh, he's invalidated. Oh, one of the Ferraris behind. Oh, well. Oh, that'll do. I think Valtteri next to come around, he's invalidated. One of the Red Bulls. I believe that will be Evil Master. First person not to invalidate. 56.9 for the middle sector, runs quite wide. Does stay off the track to maybe not invalidate there, so maybe one worth looking at for the stewards if he doesn't improve his lap time. But first person set a valid lap time, 16.6. Next will be Big Man over the line, Big Man 17.6, and then tyres on an 18.4. Skelios, the third fastest lap time now, as Gershio goes fast on the medium compound tyre. Very interesting. Rambo goes fastest now, we have a Haas on the soft tyres. Screwy set to 17.2. I think Headless King behind had invalidated. Ooh, Huss now with the fastest lap in the Williams, 16.2. Next, Lejay. Lejay has come around and set his second lap time. It's a good lap from him, 16.1 for original pole. Both Ferraris starring well. Next round will be one of the Red Bulls. The Evil Master again. I think he will be pitting though. Yeah, Evil Master into the pits. Askelios goes around again. Doesn't seem to have improved. Fox Blue coming around to finish the lap now, goes 9th. The Alphas. Is that Evan? Evan into the pits. Reflex coming round. He sets a 1:17.7 for 10th. Headless King comes around and goes 8th. Done 2 laps on them. And Stewart goes 9th on a set of medium tyres he was also doing 2 laps on. Next round will be Liam Lynch. He's pitting. So Billy will be next round to set a lap time. He goes 10th on the medium tyres. I believe the Apatari behind him is in the pits. So Xavi will be next round. He's pitting. What's that? Huss coming around. Huss comes around, sets another lap. Doesn't do enough to improve his position. So Askelios potentially the next one round. Don't know what is going on there with my controller. Askelios pitted. So it will be Reflex next round. On the run-up to the line. He improved, but not enough to improve his position. So next will be Fox Blue. Him and the Alpine ahead of him, that will be Lay Jacob both pitting. Oh no, Headless King, sorry, that's my bad. I've confused the Alpine drivers. Both McLarens, Stewart into the pits, Billy coming round, he's not doing a lap, not using any ERS. Haas, ooh, has gone purple to the middle sector by the looks. He is doing another lap. This is telemetry. Yes, definitely on another lap. Goes fastest with a 15.9. Good lap. Especially considering he's on 3 lap old softs now. Next round will be one of the Aston Martins. I believe that is Reflex. He's invalidated. So next, Evan is on an outlap. I believe that's tyres behind him, also on an outlap. Most people on late laps. Yellow flag, that is one of the Hasses. Or whoever that is behind him getting away. I think that was Haas getting out of the way. Most likely. William there on an outlap. Really on an outlap. Valtteri on an outlap. Everyone's on an outlap. First person round on a lap currently, I believe, will be either Reflex. Yes, it will be Reflex, the first person round to complete the lap. Right on board into the S section. Sadie's lifting off to let whoever the red was. Reflex has invalidated in the S section. So next will be Evan. Keeps it on track. Lap valid through the S section. 57.1 in the middle sector. Nicely in limits. Through the stadium section now. Round to the final corner. Definitely on a lap. Goes P4 with a 16.4. Good lap. Rambo goes fastest with a 15.7. I believe Valtteri is the next person around to finish his lap. Up to the line now. Doesn't take the shortest line. 16.2. Ferrari behind, not improving. That will be Stabuli. So Askelios is next at the line. Evil Master. He's invalidated. Both McLarens on out laps. That big man behind, the big man in the pits. Fox Blue coming around to start a lap. Maybe Liam, the only person not to set a time, goes P9. Everyone with a time now on the board. So, gaps are quite close between P6 to P10. Looks like it's going to be closely contested for that midfield position, but Huss and Rotten Rambo seem to be a little bit ahead of the curve at the moment. Maybe people holding back, trying to get a lap in without invalidating. Let's see. I believe Winter Travis will be next car around. It's right on board with Travis for his lap, or at least the start of his lap anyway. Run down to turn 1 now. Ooh, Billy sets the 15.6, missed that. Fox Blue now marginally quicker than Billy. I believe Stuart going round for another lap, by the looks. Still yellow flag. I think that's just people getting out of each other's way. Skelios on the lap. Catches that inside curve a bit awkwardly. See what his first sector split time is. It's 4/10 down on his personal best. And he's pulled off. Letting the Alpine behind him through. That is Headless excuse me. That is Headless King. Through the S section now. Looks pretty composed. Ooh. I say that and he almost loses the car coming out of the S section, but he is nearly a full second up on his time. Hits the apex nicely in the stadium. Maybe getting a little bit of dirty air from his teammate ahead of him. Headless King comes round, sets a 15.9. So gaps are looking very small between drivers. There's less than like a quarter of a tenth between the top two, less than half a tenth between third and fourth. In fact, pretty much top, well, third to fifth, all within 3/4 of a tenth. So very close lap times. Everyone obviously pulling out all the stops for this first race. Ooh, Skelios is out. Skelios, I believe, has chosen to retire at the pits. Huss comes around and sets a 15.4. Divisional pole for Huss. Right, Tyres is out. Tyres has crashed in the middle sector. I believe Winter Travis has maybe spun as well. No, that is Winter Travis. Yeah, you can see the wing there of where the Red Bull crashed as well. Yeah, Travis has lit up his rear tyres. Let's be careful now, that Ferrari coming through. That's Xavi. Xavi is 6/10 up on his time through the middle sector. Purple middle sector, according to this. You never know how accurate that actually is. Yeah, we had a lot of time to make up in the final sector. So he comes around, takes the shortest possible line, does a 15.8, goes 7th. Stabuli is the next person around. He improves to go 2nd. Very good lap from Stabuli. Three minutes to go. People will be either coming out to start final runs or making the last runs. Valtteri is out. Valtteri I believe has also chosen to return the pits. So P11 will be the best team managers tonight. The Ferraris aren't off the track there. So we're going a bit deep maybe. Letting his teammate through. Red Bull behind Evil Master on an out lap. Reflex is on a lap. It's right on board. Again, yellow flags, people getting out of the way of each other. Ooh, cuts a bit too much of that inside curve there. And that is an invalidation for Reflex. Let's see, both Ferraris coming round into the pits. Now Zabi's gone round for another lap. Hadn't improved that lap time. If he starts on those tyres, he will potentially struggle towards the end of the first stint. Yellow flags in the final sector. I think that is Fox Blue getting out of the way of somebody, getting ready to start his lap. Right on board with the P3 man. Ooh, that's Travis out of the session. Travis has crashed out of the final corner. Still on board now with Fox Blue. Using all of the outside curb into turn 1. Hits that curve quite nicely. See what his first sector split is. He is marginally down on his personal best time. Maybe a little deep into there, but hits turns 7 and 8 quite nicely into the S's. Doesn't take too much of that inside like Reflex did. Gets a good run. Very clean, very composed. But not improving. See the big man on the lap then. He invalidated, goes around for another lap, or 3 lap old softs. He might not want to start on those, but he is outside of the top 10 as it stands. Fox Blue may be going around for another lap, seemingly not improving. I believe Lajake is the next person round. He's invalidated his lap time. So the McLaren behind will be Stewart, maybe getting held by Rambo a little bit there. He doesn't. He was on an invalid lap time. That is Stewart's qualifying over. P6 will be the best team managers. Right on board with Lajake. Or let's see, Gerja coming around actually. Gerja goes quickest, 15.2. Good lap. Next round will be Evil Master. Evil Master has invalidated. Not a good qualifying for Evil Master. Big man on those 3 lap old softs. Makes the late decision to pit there. Oh, I missed that. Fox Blue crashed in the middle sector. Yeah, that is Fox. Billy be lagging a bit, but he's invalidated, so Lajake will be the next person. See if he can improve on P10. P9. P9 and P10 for the Alpine drivers. Good showing for Alpine. Good showing for McLaren as well. I think ideally they would have both liked to be a bit higher up the grid, but McLaren look like a strong pairing this season after the pace they showed at in pre-season, so it should be very interesting to see what the McLarens are like in the race. But your pole sitter Gerja on pole by 2.5 tenths. Qualifying looks very close up to that point, and it still is pretty close behind him, but He's pulled out 2.5 tenths on his nearest competitor, Haas. Bog saying the D3 4 and 5 times looking very close, so good to see some competitive racing across all the divisions in Delta T racing. Yeah, plenty of people invalidating, getting warnings. So plenty of people struggling with the track limits, but still it will be interesting to see now. So, waiting for the drivers to choose their strategies, choose their fuel loads, decide on what exactly they want to do for this Mexican Grand Prix. Strategy is an interesting factor for this circuit in that tyre wear is quite difficult. So there will be people who opt for 2 stops, but there will also be people, I predict there will also be somebody who does opt for the 1 stop and goes for the hard compound tyre. Let's see what everyone's starting on. Gerger leads them away. There we go. So no one's starting on the hards, but people starting on mediums, potentially thinking of doing a medium hard, potentially. Still, good lap from Gerger, sees him on pole. Got a bit unlucky last week in the pre-season race, hoping to maybe redeem himself after that. Huss in second, and what are the podiums to Stravulli, starting third place. And Stravulli, in the lead-up to this race, said that he seems to have a knack for avoiding the penalties around this track. So, Gerger has spun on the formation lap. It's quite a violent looking spin as well. Rambo and Stewart have collided. I think that distraction of the spinning Alfa Romeo has put them off a bit. Still, Valtteri, Evan, Iskelios, Big Man, Winter Travis, and Tyres all opting for the mediums off the start. Everyone else is starting on the soft tyres. Those like Eva Master and Liam Lynch will aim to jump the 3 ahead of them on the medium tyres, try and get on that queue at the top in the top 10. Still, it's right on board with Haas off this start. Or maybe Stravulli. I think Stravulli will be the better angle. See who gets the better start, see if Stravulli can get up the middle of them. Just waiting now for the 5 red lights. Five lights for the Mexican Grand Prix. Lights out, away we go. Huss seems to have gone on bit of a better pull away than Gerger. Side by side down into turn 1. Will he outdrake Gerger? Will he play the long game into turn 1? Gerger brakes later, goes a little bit deep. Huss is through into the lead of the race. Runs a little bit wide out of that first corner, but very good job from Huss off that start. Plenty of position changes behind. Alpine have made a good start, both of them gaining positions. 3 wide onto that apex. I believe that's Stravulli round. Stravulli is round. Or losing a lot of positions at least. Still Haas. Great start for him. Already 6 tenths clear of Gerjo. Next is Fox Blue off the start. Stabuli really losing out off the start. Down 16 positions. And the big gainer is Winter Travis. Winter Travis has gained 5 off of his start on the medium tyres. Both Ferraris really losing out at that start. Haas almost a second clear as we enter lap 2. Pulling away from Gerjo. Gerjo seems to be struggling for straight line speed. Fox Blue is closing. Ooh, that's Winter Travis out of the race. Winter Travis has spun. And we have a virtual safety car. Winter Travis crashing on the start-finish straight. Liam Lynch gets a 5-second time penalty for a collision with tyres. But that will rather neutralise things up at front. Fox Blue did get past Gerjo while everyone else was in the pits. Stabili onto the hards now. And with the way the hards last, he may end up going to the ends if there is no safety car. Of which we have actually graduated to a full safety car now. Now that is interesting. Will people pit now? Maybe do the same thing Stabuli is doing, opt for the hard compound tyres. See what decision Haas makes. And Haas opts to stay out, Fox Blue stays out. Most of the drivers opting to stay out, which I think is personally the right decision. Liam Lynch opting to pit, though he is missing his front left end plate. Same as Xavi opting to pit. Be interesting to see what tyres these guys go on to. Xavi is missing his full front wing. Xavi opts for the mediums, Liam Lynch opts for the hard tyres. So that is 2 people now opting for the hards. Headless King seemingly lost out after starting P10, I believe. But now on the fresh softs with those in front of him already on slightly aged softs, he should have a bit of an easier time towards the end of his stint. Both McLarens are the highest running team pairing. And DRS will be neutralised as well. But Haas seems to have a fairly large pace advantage compared to everybody else. Even only after 3 laps, well, 1 or 2 laps really. He really seems to have stamped his authority with that fastest lap, so far anyway. We may see a late call for the safety car. No, past the pits. That should be in next lap then, with Liam Lynch just making his way around to the back of the queue now. Everyone backing themselves up a bit. But it has been a nightmare start for the Ferrari drivers. Both of them dropping back quite a way off the start. Stabuli has spun again under the safety car, trying to warm his tyres. That is not ideal for Stabuli, who is now missing a front wing and on those hard tyres. He will have to pit for mediums, maybe go 2 sets of mediums to the end. Gone pretty deep, opting to cut the infield a bit there. Obviously missing that front wing. It will be harder for him to slow down. And also turn in when he gets up to speed, but still, that's not the start to the season Stabili really wanted after podium in the pre-season race. But the race is young, and Stabili can still turn things around for himself if he avoids getting penalties, which he said he could potentially do. Still, back up to the front now. The safety car should be in this lap with everyone being on the queue. Stabili is going to lose a lot of time with that front wing change, but safety car is in this lap. So SRC leading from Fox Blue. Gojo has lost 2 positions off this start, maybe struggling to get up to pace, get up to race speeds. Let's see when Huss goes. Huss has gone out of the final corner, and we are back in green flag conditions, starting lap 5 of this Mexican Grand Prix. Gojo has dropped back a bit from Fox Blue. Seems to be a couple of gaps. See if anyone else makes positions. That's what I'm looking for. Headless King and the Reflex going side by side. Headless King is past. Debbie now on the inside. Or outside, sorry, that's my bad. Reflex does break later, but Zavi is through. Still up at the front. Huss, 7/10 gap to Fox Blue. And then Fox Blue with an 8/10 gap to Gojo. Gojo has broken DRS to Rambo behind, and then it's both the McLaren drivers, with Lejake running a respectable 7th. Still, Foxby really closing up in the stadium section there. Headless King with a 3-second time penalty. Red Bull round as tyres round. Foxby setting the fastest lap of the race. Foxby pushing hard. Maybe trying to get... opting to try and overtake Huss, maybe. Huss pulling a little bit of defensive maneuvers, but still leads through turn 3 onto the second straight. Foxby will have to be a bit closer if he wants to overtake, excuse me, without using DRS. Gaps being pretty stagnant. Gozo does seem to be stringing a little bit to stick with these top 2. Maybe playing the long game, trying to avoid penalties. But if the top 2 break DRS, that would be bad news for him. Lejake on a 3-second time penalty. Second penalty of the race, but one of many I can see happening. Zavi past Big Man into the stadium section. Zavi on those fresher medium tyres. Still, onto lap 7 now. Huss still in the lead. At a 4/10 gap to Foxby behind. Headless King sets the fastest lap of the race. Down in P10. Potentially pushing quite hard to get onto the back of his Galios and move forward on those soft tyres. Truly closing a bit on tyres. So, back up to the front. Oh, yellow flag. That is Valtteri. Valtteri has spun out of the first corners. Rejoined safely out of the way of tyres. That's a few mistakes we've already seen creeping in. Foxblue closing in with that DRS. Doesn't opt to go for it into the stadium. Maybe not close enough coming out of that S section, but will definitely be in striking distance coming onto lap 8. Struli now with a 3-second penalty and Valtteri. So penalties already stacking up. It's right on board with Fox Blue. With the DRS. Using his ERS as well. Moves to the inside. Huss stays alongside but into the braking zone, but that is Fox Blue now into the lead. Gerja now opting to hold on. Huss using a lot of his ERS to defend there. Ooh, that's a yellow flag. That's the Skelios, I believe. Yep, that is a Skelios. Losing a lot of positions there. Doesn't seem to have damage, so just needs to cool up his tyres and go again. Huss is dropping back from Fox Blue, struggling potentially with that lack of ERS deployment. Ooh, and runs quite wide there, so this does leave an opportunity for Gerja to pass if Huss doesn't get the DRS of Fox Blue, which he doesn't. He is out of that second window, coming on to lap 9 now. Also losing the rear end a fair bit. Maybe struggling on those worn tyres. But with that fact that he used a lot of his ERS, he is now a sitting duck for Gerja, who moves through into second place, aiming to regain his positions. Trying to stay in that second window of Fox Blue ahead. But they have made a 2-second gap now to Billy, who has gotten ahead of Rambo off that restart. Moves towards the back. Valtteri and tyres going side by side. Bit of Red Bull versus AlphaTauri action. Both of them using a lot of ERS. Fox Blue, the leader, is now on a 3-second time penalty. So that is going to play in at that penalty. Does have DRS of Fox Blue in front. Doesn't opts not to go for the move into turn 1, does lift off there. Ooh, Stewart getting past Rambo there. Both of them on penalties. Tyres has got another penalty. Let's see how the penalties are. 6 seconds for Tyres, everyone else on a penalty on 3. Huss may be dropping out of our DRS a bit. Billy does seem to be closing slightly on Huss, so that might be a tasty battle, but both McLarens now past Rambo, pulling away slightly. Evilmaster running 7th after Evilmaster has had a good race so far after starting way down the order. I pull that up, yeah, up 7 positions. So starting P14, already up to 7. Maybe looking to go further. Stewart and Billy swap places. That's Billy into the pits. Billy and Huss into the pits. See what tyres they go on to now. Another set of soft tyres for Billy. Huss onto the medium tyres. They both come out behind Liam Lynch, who is on the hard tyres. Billy behind Lejdek as well. Billy can potentially use that DRS of Lejdek to maybe get an undercut on Gerja and Fox Blue up the front. Fox Blue within 4 tenths in the S section. Big down another 3 seconds. But those soft tyres definitely starting to struggle a fair bit. But lots of drivers already picking up penalties. Definitely seems to be struggling as we reach the end of these stints. Foxblue and Gojo still staying out, opting for a longer stint on these softs. Steer it into the pits for medium tyres. So we got Evil Master also in the pits for mediums. Rambo for mediums. Lots of people in, all for the medium tyres. Lejake sets the fastest lap of the race on soft tyres. Fresh soft tyres as well. He has got a pretty big undercut, considering Huss was pretty much second, so Lejake has made a lot of time. Huss now on the inside of Liam Lynch, getting held up a bit. Ooh, 3 wide. That is a big dive from Billy, but he is through. Bit of a melee in this midfield now as people on newer tyres catching those with older tyres. Billy capitalising, getting past Huss. He could maybe be in the lead now if Foxblue opting to stay out another lap, going very long into this race. But Gerge now into the pits for another set of soft tyres. Headless King also in the pits. And he is on mediums. So Liam Lynch now, maybe under pressure a bit from Stewart. Gaining into turn 1 on the inside, brakes later on those new mediums, does leave Liam Lynch room, but Stewart is now through. Big Man and Evan battling. Same with the Skelios. Tyres onto a new set of soft tyres. But let's see if Foxblue does opt to pit now. Going for an overcut. Not the strongest thing to do here with the way the tyres were. Look at how much he's struggling with those rears into the pit lane now. Stewart with a 3-second penalty. Onto the medium tyres goes Foxblue. Definitely struggling a lot towards the end of his stint. Xavi moves into the race lead on the track, but is on 10-lap-old mediums. Same with Evan and Big Man. Foxblue, let's see where he comes out in comparison to Gerjo. Gerjo has overcut Foxblue. Undercut, my bad. As has Billy. Billy and Gerjo have undercut Foxblue. Foxblue has lost out on that overcut. So now that is Gerjo into the net race lead there on those soft tyres. Billy with a big undercut on his soft tyres as well. So strategy coming into this race. It's a matter of pitting at the right time. Reflex on the hard tyres. Most likely going to the end of the race. Penalty for Liam Lynch, who has been overtaken by Evil Master on fresh medium tyre. That's lots of penalties for everyone now. Billy on a penalty. Gerjo past Big Man into the stage. Maybe just missing out on the DRS of his teammate, but his teammate is pitting this lap. That is one of the medium runners into the pits now. Same with Big Man. So medium runners in the pits now. Big man onto the hards, so Big man is just trying for that one stop. See if he comes out ahead of Reflex. He does. Well clear of him. Good 3 and a bit seconds. But they will be looking to go to the end now. Whereas Gerjo and Billy especially will be looking to go for another stop. Still Zabi out in the lead on 11 lap old medium tyres. Must have pitted during that early safety car. But slowly losing tyres to those behind him on those soft tyres. Gerjo and Manette race lead with a 2-second gap to Billy. Fox Blue was just out of that second window, out of the final corner, but was in a second over the detection line. Tyres with another penalty. I believe that is 9 seconds of penalties now for tyres. No, that's 12 seconds of penalties for tyres. Stewart on 9. Lots of people definitely struggling with the track limits. Maybe in the DTR and with the tyres starting to go, but only Gerjo, Evil Master, Reflex and Askelios without penalties so far. Ooh, Headless King seems to have gotten past Liam Lynch. Liam Lynch on 12 lap old hards already. He is the lead runner on those hard tyres, but they will already be starting to get a bit past their best. Oh dear me. Same with Valtteri on those medium tyres. 15 laps now. The longest runner on the mediums. He will definitely start to lose time compared to his rivals. But as Gerjo with the fastest lap of the race so far. Definitely pushing to try and catch Zabi, maybe get a bit of that DRS. Maybe help him pull away a bit. Let's see. Ooh, Billy and Foxblue battling. Foxblue making the late switch to the inside with DRS. Side by side through turn 4 and 5. Billy puts up a good defence there to keep Foxblue behind, but with that softer rubber, he will have the traction advantage. At least until his tyres do start to wear out compared to Foxblue. He is now 5 seconds behind Gerjo, the next car. So Gerjo seems to be stamping his authority on this race. Ooh, that's a yellow flag. I believe that is Headless King. Headless King has spun in the middle sector. Maybe gets snapped up by the big man. Not really. He seems to be lifting off. Don't know what's happened there. Ooh, yellow flag. That's Liam Lynch. Liam Lynch has spun on his hard tyres and lost his front wing. So that will be a pit stop for Liam Lynch. Big man now with a 3-second time penalty. Gerjo within a second of Zavi at the front. And he will be aiming to move into the lead of this race once more. Obviously in the net lead anyway, but he'll be aiming to get back into the lead on track. Doing a very good job not to be on any penalties thus far, as we are at halfway distance. Well, commentator's curse there. Gerjo is now on 3 seconds of time penalties. Taking a little bit too much of that inside curve in into the entrance to the stadium section. But he is pulling away from Billy. See now, that's right on board. using DRS, and maybe a little bit of ERS to get past Xavi. Those 15 lap old mediums will be starting to go off for Xavi now. But Gerjo into the main race lead. That's Billy. Billy spun in turn 1. Such a shame for Billy. He was ahead of Fox Blue, so he was in a net P2. But maybe locked his rears into turn 1. I'm not sure exactly what's transpired for him to have spun there, but very unlucky for him. Still, just over half distance left in this race, so he can still turn things around for himself. Considering Xavi is still yet to pit, he will still only be in a net P4. I believe. A bit of a timing bug going on there with Big Man. Glad to see Codemasters still haven't done on top of that, but Gerjo now really stretching his advantage. 18.0 fastest lap. Good 4 tenths clear of Billy. Billy opts to pit. Billy will probably opt for the medium tyres here to the end. Yep, medium tyres for Billy. I believe that will now be to the end of the race. It will be interesting to see how long Xavi stays out on those medium tyres, because he will be losing time to those behind, but still, Fox Blue a good 7 seconds now. That'll be behind Gerjo. And a good 5 behind Xavi. He is closing that gap, but Gerjo really having a pretty dominant performance thus far out in the front of this race. Obviously lost a couple of positions off the start, but through the pit stops and he has made up those positions and is back out in the lead of this race. On to lap 21 now. See, Evil Master within 8 tenths of Haas. Evil Master not on any penalties. The only one besides the Skelios not on penalties thus far. Let's see now. DRS on this main straight, looking to close up about 9 tenths left. Ooh, tyres is out. Tyres have crashed. He is out of the Mexican Grand Prix. Lost the car in the S section, crashed into that outside wall. No safety car, but that is tyres out. Only the second runner out of this race. Still really getting a 3-second time penalty there, but definitely stretching his advantage over Xavi, but Fox Blue seems to be maybe closing in a little bit on Xavi. Not sure exactly. But his mediums will be starting to feel better than Gerjo's softs. Gerjo will probably opt to pit soon. Ooh, that's Xavi in the pits now. Oh, and he's got a 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane. So that's not what he needed. On to another set of medium tyres. 14 laps on them. We're about in that range where you could pit and take softs to the end. But most people opting for the mediums to the end thus far. Liam Lynch with a 3-second penalty there. Let's have a look at the number of penalties people have. So, Stewart, the highest number of penalties on 12. Plenty of people on 3, 6, Big Ben on 9, Headless King on 9. Xavi on 11 with that 5-second penalty for spinning the pits would only be on 6 if he hadn't have made that mistake. So Gojo around, coming round, up to start another lap. Starts lap 23 as the lead car. Now 8 seconds separate him and Foxblue. And he is opening that gap out. Indeed a penalty Fiesta Bog. Only Evil Master and Askelius avoiding penalties thus far. Speaking of which, Evil Master looking for the move into turn 1 on Huss. Relatively similar age tyres, but that is Evil Master up into P4. Started P14, that is 10 position gained off the start with a third of this race still left to run. If he can gain time on those in front of him, he will be in with a shout of a podium. But that is really the closest battle on track at the moment. Other than that, not really anybody in the DRS gap other than Askelius and Reflex. Let's ride on board, see if Askelius opts to make a move into this on this second DRS straight of the lap. He is close enough for it. On the outside. Slightly older tyres, but DRS should help him. Ooh, that's a bit of a squeeze to the inside, but Reflex backs out of it. Opting not to fight the Askelios, maybe playing the long game, trying to save some EMS. But that, he's got his teammate now, Liam Lynch, behind him on soft tyres, which will feel miles better than Reflex's hards. But Liam Lynch is low on fuel by the looks. He is under the fuel he will need to get to the end of the race. Big man about 3 second gap behind, but Gojo really stamping his authority now. Nearly 9 seconds. Ooh, Headless King in the pits for mediums. But still now, a 9 second gap at the front of the field. Shane Elliott saying more penalties here than Division 5. Definitely people struggling. Headless King crosses the pit exit white line and gets a 5 second penalty. But that's Gojo in the pits now.
Opting for mediums with 11 laps to go. I think he did start on the softs, but that is not what I would have done. Stewart in the pits. He's on the soft tyres at the end now.
They're the only two in the pits thus far. Plenty of positions being made. Xavi past Rambo. Billy past Stewart on the way out of the pits. It is a bit of an odd choice from Gojo to use those mediums, I agree, Bog, but he did start on the soft tyre. So maybe using the pace of his soft tyres, extending those stints a bit longer. Ooh, that's Hussbone going very wide there. Still getting back past Evil Master, but maybe opening up for Xavi, but still, Evil Master with no penalties. Be interesting to see how long these guys on their older mediums go. Let's see now. Gojo is definitely closing on Foxblue, so he will be in a much bigger gap at the front once Foxblue, if Foxblue decides to pit. He's already 3 seconds ahead of Huss. Let's see now. Evil Master opting to pit. Maybe get an undercut on Huss. Rambo following in. Let's see what they go to. I believe that's a set of softs for Evil Master. And a set of softs for Rambo as well. They can definitely make it to the end of those tyres with 10 laps left. Let's see. Xavi has an ERS advantage over Huss and the tyre advantage. Around the outside he goes into turn
4, that is. And he's through. Past Haas. Good move. Zell will be running it, and he will be running to the end on those medium tyres. So, depending on how quickly Evil Master gains on his softs. Ooh, another 3-second penalty. Let's see. 14 seconds for Zerby. So, ooh, Headless King is out. That might be a safety car. I'm not sure if that's a retire on track, actually. Let's see. If I can get Fox Blue. I can't particularly see his car. It's not really a good angle. That looks like a retire on track to me, judging by where he's pulled off. I can't see if he's missing a tyre or not. And his car's gone down. But from where I am sitting, that is a retire on track, which we don't particularly endorse here in Delta T Racing. It's to really with the fastest lap on the soft tyres. See how much the fastest lap falls with everyone on the soft tyres. Now only with 9 laps by the looks. Evan with a 3-second penalty. I'm not sure exactly. I mean, he may have had a disconnect of his equipment, maybe. Sometimes I've had disconnect to my wheel, and my throttle's got stuck open, and I've just gone completely straight on and into a wall. But that is a particularly odd place to retire if he has crashed, so I would probably think that is a retire on track. One for the stewards. Stewart up into 4th now with Huss pitting. Skelios with a 3-second time penalty there, but McLaren running well. Maybe not as well as they'd have hoped after pre-season, but and with a spin earlier on in the race for Billy, it could have been a whole lot more for them, but still the highest running pairing in this race. Both Ferraris on the top 10, but Gurjo very easily closing that gap now on Fox Blue. I'm surprised Fox Blue hasn't pitted for the soft compound tyres. Yeah, maybe Bog. I'm not sure. And obviously we can only guess. I couldn't really get a good angle of it, and I didn't really notice where he had particularly retired until quite late on. And there wasn't really anyone in good position to see exactly what had caused that retirement, but still. See Evan on those fresher softs and Cirilli in front of him. Let's have a look at the penalties. He is on the same amount of penalties as Cirilli, so providing Cirilli in front doesn't get another penalty, he will be trying to get past. Ooh, Huss getting past Rambo. That will be a rather important move for Huss if he aims to break the 3-second gap he will need to stay ahead of Rambo. Let's see now. Gap up the front, 5.4. So Gurjo is closing in on Fox Blue. Fox Blue might be able to stay. They're on equal penalties. Fox Blue might be able to win this, actually. He might be able to hold on. You know, I mean, Gurjo will need to be gaining at a second a lap and get past Fox Blue on the final lap. But he might be able to hold on here.
on those 15 lap old mediums compared to 4 lap old. Ooh, big man out. Big man out of the race, crashes in the S section. Will there be a late safety car or a virtual? Not by the looks. That is the second time in this race there has been a crash in the action and no safety cars have been called. But Gerger now will be going like hell to try and catch up to Foxblue. You know, with the realization that Foxblue may not end up pitting again. And it looks more and more likely that he won't. So, I mean, if Foxblue stays out of trouble, he could be on to win this race. Which would be a bit of a turn of fate, really, because I believe he has only done one stop. Which, I personally myself didn't think was that viable. I mean, obviously, racing myself in Division 1 earlier this week, we had rain, so I wasn't entirely sure what would be the best way forward, but Foxblue starting third on the grid. With that one stop, he could be in with, well, the longer and longer this race goes on, the larger the chance is that he finishes. And now everyone on track with a penalty. Evil Master did pick up a penalty at some point in this race. But he is on the back of Huss now. I believe he has less penalties. He does. So I believe Evil Master will be just using Huss to pull him along for the last 5 laps of this race now. Still, we go on to lap 32. The gap for Gerger to gain is 3.3 seconds. And he will also need to get past his rival. He's on the younger tyres, so he will have the pace advantage. But will that pace advantage be enough for him to get into position to pass Foxblue? And only time will tell. But this is really the closest battle there is on track. Obviously, Stavuli in the DRS of Rambo, but 6/10 going into the first corner. Rambo is using a lot of his ERS though, so Stavuli could potentially get him in the next few laps. Both on the soft tyres though. Ooh, a bit deep there from Rambo. Maybe struggling. 2.6 now, the gap at the front. This is going to be a tense finish for Division 3. 2.4 as they enter lap 33. Place your bets now, everybody, on who will get this win. Gerger has had a bit of a straight line speed deficit, I noticed, at the start of the race. So I think he is running higher wings, and that really is helping him catch up in that twisty S section. That is where he's gaining most of his time. To Foxblue in front. I mean, obviously that will be helped by his fresh tyres as well, but off the start he did seem to struggle a little bit for top end speed, which is why Huss got past him into turn 1. Big kick out of the rear end there for him, out of turn 7 then, no, 6. Oh no, it is 7. They do classify that double apex corner as 2 corners, I believe. Still 2 seconds now as they enter the final sector of lap 33. See if he gains time through the stadium section, or if the gap stagnates. See how good his exit is at the final corner. Get maybe a bit stagnant as they enter lap 34. 2.1 the gap now.
So Gerjo ideally needs to gain that 1 second on this next lap. Get within DRS of Fox Blue for lap 35. And then make his move on the final lap where he is in prime striking position. So, you know, Fox Blue on these older tyres. 19 laps now on those mediums. They will be definitely struggling for grip. With Gerjo in a medium scan, 7 attempts to be within DRS. And he is gaining, but maybe not by enough. I mean, he definitely has been gaining, but his tyre advantage seems to be dying off per se, as he's not closing in as much as he was. 1.6 as we enter lap 35. This will be very close. See if this lap car, the reflex, this might be bad news for Gerjo, because Fox Blue might have had DRS. He didn't. But 1.4 now, the gap at the front. So, will it go down to the wire? Will Gerjo be able to get within that DRS window and make a move? They are on an equal number of penalties. Gerjo now, within that second window he needs 8 tenths. He didn't get DRS, but let's see if he saved his ERS. Ooh, he has. They're on both pretty equal amounts of ERS. Yellow flag there, one of the Ferraris around, I believe that's Stravulli. Still, 6 tenths now the gap. Will Gerjo go for the move into turn 1? Both of them have used a lot of ERS. He moves to the outside. Gerjo round the outside. He does take the lead on this final lap of the race. The 2-stop has paid off for Gerjo. Will Foxby try and come back at him? He won't. He doesn't have that DRS for the second straight. Although Foxblue is closing, it's going to be very tense. If either one of them make a mistake now on this final lap and get a penalty, that is race over. That is the win gone. But Gerjo definitely pulling away now. He's gained a second in the first 2 sectors alone. What a race for Gerjo. Bringing it down to the wire to win this race, but the 2-stop has paid off. Your winner in Division 3 by Gerjo wins the Mexican Grand Prix from Fox Blue, who tried to pull off that 1-stop and did very well to hold on as long as he did, but wasn't enough. But 21 seconds clear of the nearest car. Those two are in a league of their own at the front today. I mean, obviously, Haas, Billy and Stewart all were sort of in that fight there or thereabouts, but made mistakes or dropped away. Stravulli comes around to finish 9th. Evan with no front wing on this final lap. On 18 seconds of penalties, he will most likely lose that position to Leger. He does. Leger comes around to finish 10th. Obviously not the dizzying heights of the podium that he achieved in the pre-season race, but as a reserve, and with a lot of more of the main drivers here, he has done a good job there to finish in the points. And Evil Master is the driver every day. I would agree with that. I would say Evil Master is driver of the day today, after coming up from P14, I believe, on the grid, to finish P5. It's a very strong drive from Evil Master today. But your winner is by Gerjo. Maybe not the most straightforward race he would have hoped for, opting for that 2-stop, but he triumphs over Foxblue tonight, making the move round the outside of the first corner on the final lap of the race. What a race. Xavi P3, Billy P4, Evil Master P5, Stewart dropping down to P6 with 18 seconds of penalties, Huss in 7th, Rambo in 8th, Stavrouli in 9th, and Lejek rounding out the top 10, with the Skelios, Evan and Liam Lynch as the final finishers. Everyone else being a DNF and not classified from the race. But that is it for the start of WT Racing Season 2 for Division 3. And, you know, there were a few mistakes from drivers here and there, but a good lead battle to open up the start of the season. But that will be it from me, and I'll see you next week.